bowled by Alan Donald.
Jadeja takes it and gets off the mark. Just the single run there. That's a glorious shot. Every chance of getting to the boundary, which it does. Full stroke. But it's worth 4. That sort of thing doesn't impress the bowler. Chap's trying to drive him and suddenly it squirts away square.
Jadeja trying to flick the ball to mid-wicket.
Gloriously timed shot. That's a fine shot. Wasn't really a slog. It's a groove shot, but it was a good piece of batting. It wasn't a great piece of running. He seemed to think, well, it will go for 4. In fact, it didn't. As a result, they only got 2.
Also a little concerned as to how wide Craig Matthews is at mid-on when he's got a sweeper to his left behind him.
Well, 7 off the over. That was a better over, and the good crowd here, they will have enjoyed that. And what a sight it is here at Newlands.
The up, as they say, is very difficult to do.
Got in, and that is what was going to happen. Cronje strikes. Not a classic dismissal, but he's worked for that. And in one-day cricket, that's how you get your wickets. He forced him into an error, and Rahman, out for 47, didn't get his fair share of the strike, and in the end, sheer frustration cost him his wicket.
Yeah, good cricket by South Africa and by the other bowlers. There the stats, just 3 4s. But a good workmanlike performance from an opening batsman. Just battled to improvise when it was required, and when he tried to, that's what happened. So Cronje takes the wicket. Credit to the rest of the team for good field placing, good accurate bowling from the others. It was just a mo, really, just a slog.
I wouldn't say he's gummed things up, but he certainly hasn't been quite so fluent as his recently departed partner.
His problem now, of course, is whether he looks to attack, because the golden rule is when you lose 1 wicket, don't lose.
Just to show you the Indian progress, the 50 came off 98 delivery the last 7 or 8 overs, and this sort of thing is happening now, where the medium pace, almost dobbing type of bowling from Cronje is causing problems. Out, and Cronje strikes again. It's quite simple, really. All you do is tie the batsman down and force mistakes, and simple, but the secret of one-day cricket is to contain, to squeeze, to push, and Cronje has played his part, and both openers in his back pocket, and suddenly India having 2 new batsmen at the wicket, 2 of their big guns, but the overs are running out. We're in the 31st.
Good cricket that, especially from the ball before, where Jadeja was allowed to get down the wicket without any risk. And then the wicketkeeper coming up, he had to think of doing something different, so he felt, well, if it's anything like short, I'm going to have a pull of it. Wasn't quite short enough, came onto him a little bit too quickly, and Kirsten completes the catch. fielders in the right place on a regular basis. It's seldom that we've witnessed so many singles.
That's it, end of the 31st over. India 106 for 2.
The wicket, and I think both of them are finding Cronje's pace just not coming onto them enough.
No such problem with Alan Donald. This is his 8th over. Again, we made the point, I think, earlier, Alan, that a captain is as well using his wicket-taking potential all through the innings rather than save him at the end when there's stick flying around, because he's just as likely to go quicker than most.
Yeah, I think Alan is your strike bowler, and he's the man who's going to take wickets. I think if South Africa were fielding last, then you may look to bowl Alan in the right spells, maybe at the death. But I think this is the right thing to do now.
Still only the singles. This really has been a good clawback for South Africa. Gets his man, Azharuddin goes, and suddenly the Indian innings nowhere near falling apart, but there's a big wobble has been put into it with those 3 quick wickets, and good captaincy by Kepler Wessels to bring his strike bowler back, to post a slip and to force yet another error. Good piece of bowling.
Yeah, great piece of bowling by Alan there. Again, talking about Azharuddin's feet movement. It was a typical West Indies driving off the back foot, no feet, wide delivery, and that caused Azharuddin's fall of the wicket. But again, some great captaincy by Wessels, and Donald has striked, and that's what South Africa wants. It's put them in a good position.
When you think the score was 92 without loss in the 28th over, and suddenly for the addition of 17 runs, we've had 3 wickets, both openers plus the captain. And there's plenty of batting to come, but suddenly that score of around 250 they might have hoped for, that's fading away. They'll just once in 17 overs. What would you think, Alan, with wickets in hand, if somebody goes well, 120 more, 125 more perhaps? The end of the over, the 34th, 112 for 3.
Bowling in the channel, we'll see what Matthews does. Let's watch Matthews again. Well, they were hoping to get a single there. Clearly, India feel now that they must get on with it, Mike.
Yeah, I think now is the time that they're going to have to push it along a bit. The wicket.
He'd be quite happy with 240, and that was, of course, when there was no wickets down.
Sure, he'd be quite happy with 240. That's, I think, a pretty good score here. It just depends how these two guys play, obviously, and if they get in, because they'll have to start launching soon. Only 15 overs to go.
A great
That's a good hit. It's going to go for 4 runs. It wasn't that far away, though, from Farley de Villiers.
Tendulkar was getting a little impatient. This is really a slog. Well connected, and he's found the gap very nicely, which is important. Good cutters of the ball.
Now change in bowling again at the Kelvin Grove end, and Brian McMillan taking over from the star of the show so far from a South African point of view, Hansie Cronje, 2 for 21 in his 7 overs.
is McMillan's 7th. His first spell of 6 cost him 21 runs.
That found the inside edge and just down into the stumps. It nearly happened a short while ago, and now it has happened.
As I've been saying, this is not a shot that Sachin Tendulkar is particularly comfortable playing. The ball is far too close to his body. He just manages to get an inside edge and drag the ball onto the stumps. The South African bowlers need to be credited for some fine bowling. They haven't pitched the ball up to him. They've pitched it short, not giving him the opportunity to come onto the front foot.
All the fun of the fair now starting to develop. India have got to go for something off every single delivery. Improvisation there.
Peter Kirsten.
It's the improvisation there, note footwork making room, that retreating leg side with the front foot, going inside out. And another one. That one only worth a single. Now the crowd is getting warmed up.
Tremendous throw from Craig Matthews. The ball spending a lot of time in the air. It looked
in quite a slump since. Cronje, he started it. Wickets of both openers. A few eyebrows were raised when he was selected ahead of certainly Adrian Caper. This might be out. And Cronje strikes again. India lose their 5th wicket. They're losing their way rapidly. And suddenly, in 14 overs, they've lost 5 wickets for 48. And that's good out cricket from South Africa.
improvised again. That ball was very straight, looking just to hit it away to the short side of the ground. Matthews, normally very safe hands, makes no mistake. And still, and Kapil Dev, I've also witnessed do the same.
Not on strike because they crashed. This might be another one. Oh, brilliant catch! Wonderful, wonderful catch. And really, that's the sort of thing that turns a whole match. That was a magnificent catch. And really, you won't see anything better than that one pulled off by Andrew Hudson, the most difficult for an outfielder. It's a flat hit. He wasn't able to set himself, and this is what happened.
So many of the great catches are slip catches, but let me tell you, to dive forward at speed, he's nowhere near the ball. Look, all of a sudden he's caught it. Sensational.
And this is just underlining the point we made, that the Indian opening pair, they did a good job up to a point, but it was overcooked, and as a result, India now in serious trouble. Still 8 overs left. Got to nudge the ball around, and Kapil Dev is India's only chance of getting anywhere near 200. Andrew Hudson, I'll sign for you, and why not? Any photographer's been quick enough to get that on film, it'll be a real collector's item.
Keep on was the obvious thing to do.
Yeah, but it worked superbly, and then he took Brian Mack on and brought Hunsey back again, a bit slower pace, and he picked up 2 wickets. And, you know, he's going to bowl his full quota of 10 by the look of it.
Well, there's a man who's been much criticised for his captaincy recently.
over about to start, and Craig Matthews, the man running in from the Weinberg end, hit hard by Kapildev, but only one. Up in the air, but it's going to fall safely short of that long off. Quickly and safely taken, well run. The stitches incurred when he and Fani de Villiers collided in fielding practice. Not. Leg by. Whether he's captain or not, this one gets past him and it might go all the way. It does. 4 lovely runs. Straight into the hands of Kepler Wessels at mid-on. Trying to do the same again this time. Can he get in underneath it? Oh, that is another unbelievable catch, this time by Peter Kirsten. And the South Africans have truly excelled in the field today. First it was Andrew Hudson bringing off a miracle catch, and now Peter Kirsten.
Certainly the South Africans are on a different planet as far as fielding is concerned. I mean, look at this catch. It is simply out of this world. Maury trying to whack the ball over long off. The bat turning in his hand. And Kirsten coming down, and what a catch there.
To be chanced there.
Although Jadeja and Raman were a little slow towards the end. The rest of the batsmen certainly have contributed to their own distance.
It was hit very, very hard by Kapildev. And a fine stop by Brian McMillan. This is a huge hit, and it's 6 runs from Kapildev up into one of the chalets.
And Kapildev saying to himself, there's no point trying to hit the ball along the ground.
50 overs before a 46. The Mexican wave starts again, which upsets the batsman. And that's another brilliant bit of fielding by Jonty Rhodes, and he shied the wickets down at the bowler's end, misses by a fraction. Another unbelievable display of fielding from Jonty Rhodes.
Well, he's been kept out of the action with the brilliance of Hudson and Kirsten, but not for long. Jonty Rhodes cannot be really kept out of action, and Kumble was miles away from his crease.
And again a good stop. There'll be 2 runs for Kapildev, but that looked like 4 from the moment it left his bat.
And once again, Bill.
No ball called. any delivery like that would have just been counted as the one permitted to a batsman in an over. But it's immediately called a no ball in this limited over game, and that ball is going away for 4 runs. Kapil Dev getting it off his pads. This time straight to the fielder at mid-on. They have to bowl their 50, unlike the rules in the World Cup. And this is another attempt at a big hit by Kapil Dev. He only gets a single, just backward of square. Dev hits out, and this is going to be 4 runs. Callahan on the boundary at long off, but he couldn't get around in time to cut it off.
When he hits the ball that hard and finds the gap, there really is no point in the fielders trying to give chase. Kapil drawing himself away and then finding the gap at wide mid-off.
This is damaging for the South Africans, but just what India needed. And that's hit straight back past Macmillan. There's a single in it, but Kapil Dev says, no thank you, I'll take the strike.
A very sensible thing to do. Only 4 more deliveries left. And it's only Kapil Dev who can get India to 200 in those 4 deliveries.
Holds him a high full toss, and again he declines to take the single. That's not always an easy ball to play.
That's a difficult ball to play. The low full toss can be dispatched, but the high full toss is very difficult to hit. For one, the reaction is to try and protect your body before playing the shot, and that prevents you from playing a full-blooded shot.
And Kapil Dev looked at the square leg umpire as much as to say, wasn't that above my waist, because that too can be called a no ball. And that's good bowling by Brian Macmillan. Yorker length, just on or outside the leg stump. Because inevitably at this stage the batsman is backing away to try and give himself room to hit, and if you shoot it in there on a Yorker length at his toes, very difficult to get away.
And to bowl that ball to Kapil Dev in the kind of form he is in is really a remarkable delivery there by Brian Macmillan.
Straight up in the air, somebody's going to get underneath it. It's taken by Hansi Cronje, and Kapil Dev is out with the second last ball of the innings. It looked a straightforward catch, but it wasn't. I'll tell you why, because as he looked up, it was straight into the setting sun, and the last ball will be bowled to Anil Kumble. Poor old Jay Srinath coming all the way out, merely to act as runner, but he better get in his starting blocks. And they're running. Oh, and is he run out? He's run out. And oh, they could have both been run out, because wicketkeeper Dave Richardson underarmed it into the stumps, and Jay Srinath was running down that end. I said he better get in the starting blocks. And the ball ricocheted to Macmillan, and he whipped round and threw the other stumps down just in case. That was another high full toss. Went right past Kumble.
Yeah, and Kumble should have realized that Srinath was already running.
And India are all out for 100 and 84. A good opening partnership between Ajay Jadeja and Wakira Rahman. They put on 92 for that first wicket, and Jadeja had most of the bowling, 103, Rahman 69 balls only for his 47, but other than Kapil Dev, there was nothing much more to offer. 184
point of view, was short of discipline in the batting.
That's away for 4 runs. Kapil Dev for once just straying onto the onside and whipped away by
So far.
Hit hard, and it's in the air but safe, and it's going to be 4 more runs. Hatcher Hudson hit his first 4, but that was when Kapil Dev pitched it up on leg stump and he whipped it away off his pads. That was a different stroke, and it was in the air for quite a while.
Yeah, on the up, and just straying a little really from Tronier because his side was being pushed out of the game.
They are being tied down, and knocks out. The first wicket went down in the Indian innings, trying to break out of the stranglehold. Andrew Hudson pulling at one that might not have been short enough to do so, and hits it straight into the hands of a short mid-wicket.
Yes, Hudson's a little unlucky. Hits this very hard indeed. Rolls the wrist like his coach used to tell him, only to find a...
And that's a fine shot by Kepler Wessels, and despite the efforts of the man at mid-off, it's going to make the boundary. He got a hand to it, but couldn't stop it. And so 4 runs to Kepler Wessels. He hit his last boundary in the 11th over, 20 overs ago. And it brings up the 100 for South Africa.
Beautiful stroke, one of the few that Kepler Wessels has really tough.
It'd be a surprise if he came in ahead of both Rhodes and Callaghan. That might be out. There's been a call for it, leading edge, and he's dropped it. Well. As catches go, I don't think you'll see many simpler, but in fact, it didn't really judge it. Azruddin, who's fielded brilliantly along the ground, called for this ball, waved everybody away, and then, in the end, didn't really get underneath it.
Amazing. Even in fielding practice, one has not seen Azharuddin drop catches. And there you see, he was nowhere near the ball. He took it so far up.
That's good running. Big appeal, another run, overthrow. And no call from umpire Lamson for any assistance. Certainly was the shortest of singles.
Quick moving there by Ajay Jadeja.
Well, in a fast finish, that must have been very, very close to give, but umpire Lamson decided to go with his own judgment. Well, this really is too close to call. In fact, it's being called for. Does he go or doesn't he? In fact, the third umpire is taking the closest look at this. To us, it looks out. And the green light has gone. That means the batsman goes. And India have struck. And that looked a good decision. The leg bye has been cancelled. In fact, 2 leg byes. And umpire Lamson Thompson's decision eventually to ask for the assistance completely justified. Nobody can argue about this. Ball striking the bail there, and the bat between the legs shown just short of the crease. Vindication, I think, Sunil, for the decision to use technique. And Rhodes is on strike. That might be out, and is. Jonty Rhodes goes, and a relieved India. That just might settle them, Sunil.
This is the wicket India was looking for. They suddenly seemed to be getting out of control with that error from Mohammad Azharuddin, their skipper. Jonty Rhodes trying to hoik Srinath over, long gone, not getting hold of it. And Sachin Tendulkar doesn't miss such simple catches. And look at the delight. Inside edging the ball, not quite getting it in the middle. Simple catch to Sachin Tendulkar, and boy, is he happy.
Well, he is, and that's the end. That is the best place to try to put this fielder goes before. We saw three successive batsmen at Wanderers, including, I think, Peter Kirsten, trying to hit across the line. He's learned his lesson, this time going straight, and as a result, this happened.
And when everybody else has been really putting in more than 100% effort, this little untidy effort from Raman.
Slow ball. It's 50 for Peter Kirsten. Where would South Africa be without him? It's been hard work, never at his most fluent. A difficult pitch on which for his type of batting to prosper, but there he...
That hit beautifully, and this will go away for 4 runs. Vital boundary from Peter Kirsten.
Peter Kirsten's always been able to square cut. Again, just a little bit of movement onto the onside to make that room. The bowler...
High up in the air, can they get a catch out of this one now? Yes, very well taken by Raman, I think, is the man who's got it. And the end of Peter Kirsten. It's not over yet. But what a fine innings. His 650 for South Africa in a one-day international.
And Peter trying to hit this over cover, leaning back, although having played.
6 balls, 6 wickets in hand. That's the happy situation for South Africa. Now Prabhakar. Tremendous responsibility rests on him to try and prevent these 8 runs. Public address announcement demanding that the spectators stay behind the advertising boards and do not rush onto the field at any stage. Remember, a spectator touching the ball before it goes to the boundary means 4 runs. This is well pitched up, and they're going to look for 2 here, I'm sure. They're taking it on, and Callahan is home.
very good running. You could almost see Hansi Cronje tell him that's 2 and not give him the option.
Five balls, 6 runs. The plot thickens. Hansi Cronje. He came in with only a few balls remaining, and he had to start hitting from the moment he got there. That's not easy for any batsman against any bowling, let alone against Kapil Dev and Manoj Prabhakar. But you see there, it was a tremendously good hit by Hansi Cronje. That tells it all. 6 was all they needed. And with just 4 balls remaining, South Africa wins. Reflecting on the day, India won the toss. Mohammad Azharuddin had no hesitation in batting on a hard brown wicket full of runs. Jadeja and Rahman got India off to a good start. They put on 92 for the opening wicket. They slowed a little bit towards the end of that partnership. It took them 28 overs. Donald 2 for 32 from his 10 overs, and Hansi Cronje, the stopgap bowler, 5 for 32. What an extraordinary performance by him.
Yeah, excellent. Without taking anything away from Hansi Cronje, I'd like to suggest that the discipline of all the other bowlers and the field placing by Kepler Wessels assisted him in that end result, but he did bowl very, very well.
And an aggressive 33, which included some delightful boundaries. But Wessels and Kirsten struggled to really keep the momentum up. And Kepler Wessels was there for all of 100 balls before he was run out for 43. Kirsten, his 6th 50 in as many innings as in one-day cricket for South Africa.